When you see someone who is always calm, always composed, always kind, and always avoiding conflict, pay attention. Not because they are weak, not because they are afraid, but because they see everything. They notice the tone behind words. They notice the pauses. They notice what is said, and more importantly, what is not said. They remain silent not because they lack strength, but because they understand the cost of reacting. They know that if they speak from anger, it will not be gentle, it will not be controlled, and it will not be forgettable. So they choose calm, they choose restraint, they choose silence. Not everyone who stays quiet is unaware. Some people are quiet because they are fully aware. They absorb more than they show. They feel more than they reveal. They process everything internally. They don't react immediately. They don't explode at every trigger. They don't fight every battle. Because they know their anger is powerful. And power, when uncontrolled, can destroy more than it heals. So they keep everything inside. Not to suppress it, but to manage it. They understand themselves. They understand their limits. And they understand what happens when those limits are crossed. Everyone has a breaking point. Everyone. But for calm people, that breaking point is often much further away. They endure more. They tolerate more. They forgive more. They let things slide that others would immediately react to. They give chances. They give space. They give understanding. Not because they are blind, but because they are patient. Patience is often misunderstood. People mistake patience for tolerance. Tolerance for weakness. Silence for fear. And that is a dangerous mistake. Because calm people are not empty. They are full. Full of observations. Full of memory. Full of stored emotions. They remember every moment they chose peace over confrontation. Every time they swallowed words to keep harmony. Every time they stepped back to avoid unnecessary conflict. They are not forgetting. They are recording. And one day, if pushed far enough, if disrespected repeatedly, if ignored consistently, that calm breaks. Not loudly. Not dramatically at first. It shifts. Something changes behind their eyes. Their energy changes. Their silence becomes heavier. And when it finally explodes, it is not chaos. It is precision. It is not rage. It is release. A storm does not shout before it arrives. It simply arrives. And the damage is not caused by noise, but by force. The ones who trigger that anger are often the ones who never believed it existed. They thought the calm person would always bend, always forgive, always stay quiet. They were wrong. Because calm people are not passive. They are controlled. And control is far more dangerous than aggression. When they finally speak, their words carry weight. When they finally act, their actions are final. They do not argue. They do not threaten. They do not explain. They decide. That is why you should respect them. Not fear them. Respect them. Because respect keeps the storm asleep. Don't mistake their silence for weakness. Silence is often strength in disguise. Behind every calm smile is a mind that has analyzed everything. Behind every soft response is a will that has chosen restraint. They are not avoiding conflict because they can't handle it. They are avoiding it because they don't need it. They know who they are. They know what they're capable of. And they know the consequences. Within their tranquility lies discipline. Within their patience lies resilience. Within their calm lies power. They don't need to prove it. They don't need to show it. They don't need to announce it. Because real strength doesn't seek validation. The calm person is not harmless. They are selective. Selective with energy. Selective with reactions. Selective with battles. And once you push them past their limit, you don't get anger. You get clarity. You get boundaries. You get finality. You get distance. And distance from someone who once cared is the loudest response of all. That is why the calm should be respected, not challenged, not underestimated. Because calm is not the absence of strength. It is strength under control. And control, once lost, reveals exactly why it was held back for so long. Calm people don't warn you twice. They don't shout. They don't threaten. They don't announce what they're about to do. They simply stop. They stop explaining. They stop reacting. They stop engaging. And that silence is not confusion. It is decision. When a calm person reaches their limit, they don't explode the way impulsive people do. They become distant, focused, unmovable. Because by the time they act, they have already processed everything. They have replayed the conversations. They have weighed the outcomes. They have accepted the loss. So when they finally let go, there is no hesitation. People underestimate calm individuals because calm doesn't look powerful. It looks gentle. It looks kind. It looks forgiving. But forgiveness has boundaries, and kindness has limits. Calm people give more chances than most. They see potential where others see problems. They hope where others quit. They stay where others leave. That's why their limit is higher, much higher. But when it's crossed, there is no turning back. Because the calm person doesn't act from emotion. They act from clarity. And clarity is ruthless. They don't seek revenge. They don't need to prove a point. They don't want to hurt you. They just remove you from their energy, from their access, from their life. That removal is quiet, but it is permanent. This is why you should never mistake patience for permission. Every time they stayed calm, they were choosing peace, not surrender. Every time they avoided conflict, they were choosing control, not fear. They know their anger. They know its weight. They know what happens when it's unleashed. So they lock it away, not because it's weak, but because it's powerful. Powerful enough to change relationships. Powerful enough to end bonds. Powerful enough to shift realities. That's why calm people are careful. They don't want to hurt others, and they don't want to hurt themselves. But once someone crosses that line, once respect is broken too many times, once silence is ignored long enough, the calm disappears. What replaces it is not chaos, it is certainty. And certainty doesn't argue. This is where most people get it wrong. They think the explosion is the danger. It's not. The real danger is when the calm person stops caring. Because when care is gone, so is attachment, so is tolerance, so is mercy. You will feel it. The warmth will be gone. The kindness will be colder. The distance will be undeniable. And by the time you notice, it's already over. That's why respect matters. Respect keeps relationships alive. Respect keeps calm intact. Respect prevents storms. You don't need to fear calm people. You need to respect their boundaries. Silence is not weakness. Silence is information. When someone stays silent, they are telling you something. They are showing you restraint. They are offering you space to correct yourself. Most people miss that warning. They mistake silence for acceptance. They mistake patience for tolerance. They mistake kindness for submission. And that mistake is costly. Because calm people don't fight back. They walk away. And walking away, when done without emotion, is the strongest move there is. If you've watched this far, drop a 100. Not because of validation, but because finishing something is a rare discipline. It shows you're not distracted. It shows you're not impulsive. It shows you have focus. You are part of the small percentage that finishes what they start, and that matters. Because calm strength is built through discipline, through restraint, through self-awareness. Everyone has a limit. Everyone. But calm people have trained theirs. They've endured more. They've absorbed more. They've stayed silent longer. That doesn't make them invincible. It makes them dangerous when pushed. Once that limit is crossed, don't expect noise. Expect distance. Expect boundaries. Expect final decisions. Expect a storm that doesn't announce itself. Because the calmest waters hide the strongest currents. And the quietest people often carry the greatest force. This is why calm should be respected, not tested. Because calm is not empty, it is contained. contained strength, contained anger, contained resolve. And when containment ends, what's released cannot be undone. Beware the calm, not because it is evil, but because it is powerful. Behind tranquility lies resilience. Behind patience lies discipline. Behind silence lies strength. And strength, when finally unleashed, changes everything.